education group, and we had a diverse amount of people in our group, not just people that are working in school settings, but working with children or youth in other areas. So we've termed our group SPROUT, and so we've put school a quick part of communities open, so not just neo-humanistic education schools, but schools in every community. So the school environment involves teachers, students, parents, and the community. So through schools, there's a lot of people that you can actually access. Also, Stuvol is something that Baba outlined as student volunteers. So that's another way they can be incorporated into schools, but they can also be used in school groups or community groups outside of schools. He outlines Stuvol from kindergarten all the way up to university level. So what we're presenting here today can be used from kindergarten all the way up to university level, including, I would say, even beyond, into working with adults in other areas. So it's very relevant, something very practical that you can take and use. In Stuvol, Baba outlines 4 main aspects: physical, intellectual, moral, and cultural. So it's about actually doing something, the action side, the service side. So it's coming together with the knowledge that you have and applying that knowledge. So we developed a template. So I'm going to go throughout the template, which can be used in many contexts with children, kindergarten all the way up. So you can, as I'm going through this, think about how you might be able to use this in your context. Then I'll go through the example of how we used it here in our context. So we created an activity for the children here at the conference based on this template, and we did the activity yesterday, and so we'll tell you about that. Firstly, the most important thing is why, the why question, which there's different words to describe that. Could be philosophy, so it's based on Baba's philosophy of PROUT, and that doesn't really change. The other ones below the why, depending on the context, time, place, person, will change. The philosophy remains throughout. So another way of looking at it is the vision, or the aims, or the PROUT concept that you're looking at. The next one down is who. Who's your focus group? Who's your target group? What age are they? What cultural background are they from? What are the characteristics of the group that you're wanting to present PROUT out to? Once you have identified who your target group is, then you can start to think about, what am I going to do? What activity am I going to be presenting or engaging those people to do? And that is linked to your philosophy, why you want to do it in the first place. So you base your activity on that. The next one is how, the method that you're going to be using. So one method for me to present this information to you right now is I'm just getting up here speaking using some visual aid. Another method might be I could have used a PowerPoint. I could have sung a song or did a dance or did a drama production. So how are you going to get that information? Also through games and stories is what we used, and I'll explain that more later. Where are you going to do it? So that's important because the context will vary depending on where. Also the facilitators. In our group, because there was about 10 of us, we had quite a few facilitators. So we took the cooperative approach and we all took on a role within that to facilitate. But it could be just one person. You might be the only facilitator or you might have 3 or 4 of you facilitating. So what are you going to be doing as a facilitator, and what role do you have? Which is presenting, getting PROUT out there to the public. And you don't have to use Proutistic terminology, because embedded in the terminology is the principles and the values. So those values are inherent in all human beings. So they make sense. Cooperation, sharing. It's not something that no one would really agree with. So it's really, the method is also important. So we've put this together on a template and have available to you to have a look at and adjust. And it's only one example. I'm sure you're sitting there thinking of somehow how it can already be improved for your context, and what you would change and what you would take out. So that's really good, because that's using your own individual potentiality.